Paris FC make their way out onto the stage. Season-defining days, these. Two huge games to come for Paris Saint-Germain against Lyon in the cup final. And potentially that title decided the following weekend. But that really will only be the case if they can take care of business this afternoon against Paris FC, who have plenty to play for themselves and perhaps a local point or two to make. There's more than just pride at stake this afternoon, though, that is for sure. In the overcast conditions on the outskirts of the French capital. Tough run of fixtures for Paris FC at the moment. 3 weeks on from their last game, that loss against Lyon. Difficult one in which to try and bounce back here. No margin for error really for either in their respective ambitions for what remains of the season. Audrey Kerbel is today's referee. Plenty of experience with the opposing captains, Grace Sciorro and Gaëtan Tini. Stage is almost set. Saint-Germain have been doing just enough of late. 3 successive league victories by 1-0 for Gerard Prescher's team. Let's have a look at the team that he has named today, making 3 changes from their last game 3 weeks ago. The 1-0 victory at Guingamp. Sarah Bouhadi comes back in place of Constance Picault in goal, whilst the Dutch pair Jackie Grunnen and Lieke Martens both return to the starting lineup as well, with Corbin Albert and Ramona Bachmann reverting to the bench. Top scorer Khadidiatou Diani is still missing after surgery on a broken collarbone, but the injury list has eased a little in recent weeks for Prescher and his team. The selection is straightforward for Paris FC, who've also had 3 weeks since their last game. They lost 2-0 at champions Lyon. Tough run of fixtures right now for Sandrine Souberon, but at least she has a strong, settled squad to pick from. Mathilde Bourdieu and Clara Matteo are both into double figures for league goals so far this season. Julie Soyer and Taya Grepovat have both started every match of this campaign in defence. Pretty much her strongest available 11 this afternoon. Paris FC, the visitors, in their 3rd kit, all in the pink today. About to get the action underway. Just 2 league games left for both after this. So off and underway then. It is Paris FC that get this derby started. A match that matters much for both. Delighted to be in the company of former England international Laura Bassett for this one. There's plenty riding on it, Laura.
Yeah, there really is. And what's interesting as well is that both teams have had such a long time, like you said, 3 weeks to prepare for this game, to get your game plan right, to execute it, to make sure everyone understands what they're up against and really learn your lessons from the previous game. So, and of course it's a derby, so all those psychological, emotional feelings will come to the forefront to get bragging rights of the city.
Gives it that extra edge, doesn't it? As if one were needed in the circumstances. Does mean you would expect the referee to be pretty busy in these early exchanges. Paris Saint-Germain trying to build from the back. Does look like Jean-Francois has started at centre-back again. Sciorro has also played in that position, an injury-hit position for PSG for much of the season.
Yeah, I think it's key to point out De Almeida. I think she's been the mainstay, the foundation of everything they've done well. You know, she's so reliable. Having to play with different centre-back partnerships is really tough. You know, you have to lead the line in different ways, but she's been an outstanding performer, you know, having to adjust to those changes.
Jean-Francois alongside her, facing her former club. Had 4 years on the other side of this rivalry with Paris FC, showing her versatility in recent weeks. Guiding it all the way back to Sarah Bouhadi. That rotation in goal continues today as well. They haven't conceded in their last 5 league matches since the 3-1 victory against at the start of February. 10 clean sheets in the last 12 in the league. There's that shock 4-goal contribution at Fleury in between. Despite the difficulties that they've had at the back because of injuries, solidity for the most part has remained. To get Clara Matteo involved at Paris FC really for the first time. She could be key today. Yeah, she could. She's really an exciting player. Had a really good season. You know, she's so confident on the ball. Look, she's good with her feet. Bourdieu holds it up, and then she'll look to link into the forward runners. Matteo was a teammate of many of those in opposition today when linking up with Renard's national team for those 2 friendlies that they played in April in preparation for the World Cup to come. There's Ashley Lawrence. Got to cool head under pressure. There's some space here for Kashawi. Just lost her footing at the crucial moment. That's a couple of times now, isn't it, that we've seen players slip. The pitch looks extremely wet. You know, either players losing their footing or the ball speeds up or slows down really quickly. So, you know, something that players have got to adjust to. Just affects the speed of the ball. That's well weighted into the path of Vangsgaard. Couple to try and pick out in the middle. The rain has been coming down pretty heavily in the countdown to kick-off at the Georges Lefebvre. Conditions playing a part certainly in these opening exchanges. Kashawi. Mika Martins returning to the starting 11 today. Jean-Francois forward. Mateo's primary duties so far have maybe been defensive ones, but trying to turn defence into attack here. Combining with Bourdieu, trying to slip in Fleury. Important that Paris FC show early on they haven't just come to defend today. Well, I think it's kind of keeping the balance, isn't it? They don't want to concede early and give the advantage to PSG at any point, especially the opening of the game. But also, you're right, it is increasingly important that they show how they're going to attack and that, you know, trying to exploit the spaces that they leave, you know, especially with Matteo going infield like that, driving across the pitch. Hamraoui working it wider. This is Kashawi taking on Julie Soyer and away from her. Baltimore couldn't quite reach the cross, but that was promising for PSG. Yeah, I think in these opening minutes, I think Kashawi's got a lot of time and space, hasn't she? And she just goes 1v1, rides the tackle, and Baltimore had just got into early instead of hanging out a little bit longer, delaying and really assessing the flight of the ball, but she gambles and goes in too early. But again, bright start. But Kashawi's definitely the outlet for PSG in the opening minutes. Yeah, utilised a couple of times already. There's Clara Matteo once more. He has 10 goals for the season, 1 fewer than last year. So consistent in attack over the last couple of seasons. They have brought through their own to a certain extent, Paris FC. Sandrine Souperon recently signing a new contract with the intention of doing so again. One eye on the next generation. Genuine ambitions to try and break the duopoly. It's so tough to do, isn't it? So strong are Lyon and Paris Saint-Germain at the summit of the French women's game, but Paris FC with genuine aspirations to get there. What they haven't managed yet is a victory over their neighbours in this derby since they were rebranded. 11 times they've met competitively since October of 2017. Paris Saint-Germain winning 10 of them. The only time Paris FC avoided defeat was in a goalless draw at the end of last season. Most of the early questions, perhaps understandably, perhaps predictably, being asked by the home side here. Jean-Francois, whose move, I guess, for the start of this season highlights the difficulties that Paris FC have, losing one of their best players to their neighbours. Kershawi. See what she was trying, but it's safely gathered up by Dozier in goal, the Nigerian international, who will probably expect to be busy this afternoon.
Yeah, she will, and she'll certainly, you know, she likes to come off that line. She has a good high start position, and her defenders will certainly need her to concentrate, come and sweep up for any long balls like that, and just, you know, add a bit of calmness to their play, and know that they can rely on her, stays fully switched on, concentrated for any of those through balls. But yeah, she certainly will be called upon today.
They do come into the game without a victory in their last 3 league matches. The first time that's happened since the end of 2020. You have to go back to September of 2018 for the last time that Paris FC went 4 league matches without a victory. The fixture list hasn't done them too many favours at the moment, has it? Lyon away, followed by Paris Saint-Germain away. They will get the free kick here.
Yeah, Jackie Grun, and she's really combative in that centre midfield. Yeah, it's good to see her back from injury, adding a different type of style to the other midfield players that PSG have got. But really too tenacious on that occasion.
Coming to the end of her first season at the club since that move from Manchester United. Free kick is in a useful position for the visitors to ask some questions in the penalty area. Not one really that they were able to take advantage of.
No, those are the moments that I think Paris FC really need to concentrate on, switch on, and execute what they've been working on in training, because they're great opportunities to really try and, you know, cause PSG some problems.
They had their chances against Lyon in that last game. Didn't concede the second until very late in the match, and at 1-0 behind, they had a number of opportunities to get back on terms. Weren't able to take those chances. Can they change that here? This is promising. It's watched wide in the end. But it was a clear sight of goal for the player, perhaps, that they would have wanted to have that side of goal, Mathilde Bourdieu.
It's good play, isn't it? Look at the pocket that Matteo's picked up. She's inside, links straight up to Bourdieu. And I think she kept taking touches. She didn't know how soon to take her shot. But again, you can see she's disappointed for that. She would have liked to have got that on target. But again, you can just see on the, you know, in the transition, they're going to look to link play and get their shot off early.
Well, number 9 is their top scorer with 11 league goals so far this season. Early warning for Paris Saint-Germain. They will get a free kick of their own here. Kira Hamraoui down.
It's a clear foul, isn't it? Hamraoui is so important to everything that PSG do. She's the base of that midfield, likes to get on the ball, likes to switch play. But clearly fouled and a foul in the end. Always available, working those areas, working the pitch, to be available from the centre-backs to switch the play. She's vital so everyone else can hold their positions higher up.
Yeah, there's been a certain element of rotation, hasn't there, all season for Paris Saint-Germain, but when fit, Kira Hamraoui is somebody that perhaps doesn't come into that category, such is her importance. They are attempting to still, I guess, digest the disappointment of Champions League elimination against Wolfsburg in the quarter-finals of that competition, with both domestic trophies still to play for. Continental competition was a primary aim, of course, this season, as it always is. But they've bounced back with successive victories since the second leg. And here they come with Kershawi. And again creates space for herself with options in the middle. Martin's effort blocked. And Clara Mateo is the one bringing the ball out of defence. Had covered good ground but has now lost it. Kashawi. Seems to be taking the first defender out of the equation very easily though, doesn't she, early on?
Yeah, she does. Then she needs players to link with, because like on that occasion, Grace Gaoro is going to read where she wants to go and take the ball off her. So she might have to come up with a few more different solutions to that.
Hamraoui was strong in the challenge and then attempted the through ball. Vastly experienced Julie Soyer. Is it back again? The right back here, 11th season with the senior side since a move actually in 2012 from Paris Saint-Germain, where she spent a couple of seasons. It's about the time that she'd forced her way into the French national team when she made that move. Stalwart at side really ever since for Paris FC, or Juvisy as they were known when she made that move. Nobody anywhere near being able to challenge for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? You know, Paris FC are probably going to be starved of the ball for long periods of the game. So what do they do then when they have possession? You know, they might have the time and space to switch the ball at the back, but then how do they build through the thirds? How do they really try and exploit, you know, if it's not in transition moments? That's going to be a problem for them today.
Very difficult balancing act for Paris FC coming here. They've almost negotiated the opening quarter of an hour without too much alarm, really. And they possibly had the best chance, and it looked like they might have been away again. Pulled back by the referee's whistle to get the free kick. Would have wanted the advantage maybe after Jean-Francois's challenge. It was a rather blatant one.
I think she thought the ball was still there, and not knowing, you know when you're told to, as a centre-back, to go into midfield, make sure, you know, if the ball goes past you, the player doesn't. And I think she still thought at least the ball was still around. But yeah, I think that is a good decision from the referee.
Can't really have any complaints over the caution, can she? First name taken is that of Orient Jean-Francois against her former club. And here's the free kick that will follow. Into a dangerous area. Mateo was a little isolated in trying to meet it.
Yeah, quite disappointing from a set-piece perspective. The two set-pieces they have, it's just looked like a ball into an isolated player rather than, you know, any coordinated movements together to try and free up someone to really attack the ball coming into the box.
Yeah, brought Boutel up from the back, who was close to getting something on that, but not quite close enough. Spent a lot of her season, or her career anyway, in midfield, but has been at centre-back of late for Paris FC. Karshawi again. Who's more often than not in plenty of space to assess her initial options. The Almeida. I look to build from the back with Jean-Francois. Jackie Gronin, little touch for Hamraoui as well. And again, space for Karshawi. He just slipped at the point of contact when trying to deliver that into the danger area.
You can still see players really still trying to adjust to the pitch, isn't it? The more you commit to striking a ball, you know, the more kind of your feet come off the floor, and that's what happened to Karshawi there. But I think if PSG really moved this ball at speed, switch the play, get out on the fullbacks, you know, even on the right-hand side, Baltimore coming in and Ashley Lawrence getting a lot higher, you know, they could really penetrate down the sides. That's where the space is against this Paris FC team. But it just seems sometimes the ball's a little bit slow, whether that's the pitch or whether that's the pace that's put on the ball.
Bourdieu was the target there for Paris FC, but it's safely guided back by Jean-Francois to Bouhadi. As I mentioned, one goal has been enough for PSG in the last 3 league victories against Montpellier, Bordeaux and Guingamp. Soayak clearly caught by Jackie Granat.
It's great play by Soayak. You know, she clearly looks to come inside, but as you come inside, if you chip the ball off the ground, you know, naturally as a defender, your leg's going to come up and stop the player. So it's really clever just to dink it over her foot, but that looks a painful one. But really clever play from the fullback. Here you go, look, chip it over her, that's it. The defender's always going to stick a leg out just to stop you. I think it's just natural reaction.
Certainly knew what was coming, I think. Also on the way, this free kick for Paris FC. It's another opportunity for them. Set pieces could be a big part of their story today. Rebovau, the centre-back, waiting to take it. Height and distance on that. And they try to keep it alive far side, appealing for some reward, but it's not going to be forthcoming.
Much better ball that was, you know, really deep. Tierney looks like she got the first contact, albeit on her arm, I think. But, you know, it looked a little bit more coordinated, like they knew where they were aiming for.
And there come Paris Saint-Germain. Options either side.
Hey! Hey!
Well-timed challenge, as it had to be. There wasn't much margin for error in making that one.
It's a really well-timed tackle. Grace Guilloro eating up the ground. That's what she does best. She travels with the ball so well. But that's a wonderful tackle by Rebovau, coming over and covering.
Got back really well to deny Vangsgaard, who's getting her opportunity in the starting lineup in the absence of Diani. Toto hasn't played all season, of course, after that injury suffered at the European Championship. Just highlights PSG's strength in depth. Vangsgaard added to the squad in January. There's the corner. Defended emphatically initially. No way through for Ashley Lawrence. There hasn't been too much in it, really, in these opening 20 minutes.
No, not really. It's played out as you would expect, isn't it? PSG having a lot of the ball.
And Rawi then losing it. For a moment, Guilloro thought she'd won it back, but the whistle has gone, as it was always likely to, I guess.
But I think for Paris FC, you've got to be pleased with the opening 20 minutes. You know, your structure out of possession is compact. You know, you're forcing PSG to go down the sides, and then when you have, you look to link up and draw fouls like that. You know, they've certainly been competitive in the opening 20 minutes.
Promising position again for those in pink right now. And they weren't quite able to profit from it. Again, the referee's whistle goes in favour of Grace Guilloro, the captain. It's a fairly formidable front three, though, for Paris FC, with the addition of Louis Fleury this season. Bourdieu and Matteo both amongst the goals last year and again in the current campaign. Successive draws at Bordeaux and at home to Guingamp before that loss at Lyon last time out, those 3 weeks ago. They had won 4 on the bounce prior to that. As they look for a repeat of last season's third-place finish, which brought with it a place in the Champions League qualifiers. Lost on penalties to Roma back at the start of the season in that competition. It has whetted the appetite to try and return. Guard had made the run here, guided back to the goalkeeper. Cool heads required. De Almeida. And a few to try and pick out. This is Sondi Baltimore. He just put a little bit too much on that. Well, Atta Football has officially launched their new platform, which gives fans free access to 140 plus live and on-demand matches from the top European leagues, an extensive player development library to help you learn from the world's best, exclusive highlights, interviews, behind-the-scenes content and more. Come join the squad and become a member today. Visit attafootball.com and download the Atta Football app. Midway point of the first half here on Derby Day. Vangsgaard had seen Baltimore making the run, was trying to find her, nearly but not quite.
Yeah, you could see what she was looking at. I think she tried to be too clever in the end, just find a way, and it got blocked. It's good running from Gioro to get in advance of her. Vangsgaard, we've not really seen her in the game as much, have we? We've only seen one direct ball in behind the Paris FC back line. You know, that's where she wants to be, running the channels so that she's facing the goal that she's shooting at.
Both giving the other plenty to think about, I think, in this opening quarter of the contest. Jean-Francois again. Seems to have adapted well to that change of role. Signed a 2-year contract with PSG back in July, having turned down a new contract reportedly with Paris FC. She's seeing plenty of it just at the moment. This is Lawrence forward. Drops invitingly for Baltimore. Grace Gioro who'd made that run. Trying to squeeze the cross in. And Karshawi in that pocket of space. Said that before already.
Yeah, she finds really good positions and really challenges Matteo, whether she comes out and presses her or whether she takes it on down the line and takes on players. She's really causing a lot of problems. And on the right-hand side, you see Baltimore coming infield. Grace Gioro can run the channel and Ashley Lawrence, the right back, can offer feet. So that little rotation over there is interesting. And it's always interesting to see Baltimore on the right-hand side cutting in on her favoured left foot. You know, it changes the pictures in the attacking sense.
Yeah, Baltimore and Gioro almost interchanging roles at times. Working it wide here for Karshawi, who will keep it in. Time to luck up, pulls back the cross. It was perfectly onto the head of Sondi Baltimore, and she couldn't quite find the finish.
What a link-up play that would have been. It was really good play by Baltimore anyway. You know, coming inside, rolling round and seeing the space that Karshawi was in. There we go, get on the end of that. And then look, great runners in the box. 4, eventually 5 make the box, and she picks someone out. And again, Baltimore, because of the timing of her run, is unmarked. It's hard to mark her. She just needs to get it on target.
It's all that was missing, wasn't it, from what would have been a wonderful goal. And Baltimore being able to steer that on target. That one had just gone out of play, I think, on the far side. It's the best chance that they've created so far.
Yeah, it's good timing, just not the precision. It was always, it kind of skimmed off her head, always going away from goal.
And it forward again, and now Karshawi, almost in herself, just seemed to delay a fraction.
Neat, intricate play that is by Jackie Cronin, just playing her in. I think she thought she had maybe more time, or trying to get it on a, I'm not too sure, dancing round it, but she could have pulled the trigger maybe.
Afforded Sawyer the opportunity just to intervene and concede the corner kick. Chance for PSG to keep the pressure on, though. Baltimore's going to take it. Posse of players inside the 6-yard box. Another posse of players on the edge of the penalty area awaiting this delivery. In the end, it was played in short by Baltimore. Now Karshawi, who will deliver directly. Strong header, and the goalkeeper fumbles it. Good enough to keep it out, but no more than that. Now Dozier, Baltimore to try and return it. Again, the goalkeeper gets there, and this time gets the benefit of the doubt as the whistle goes to maybe spare 1 or 2 blushes.
Yeah, it's a really good spell, isn't it, for PSG? That's a clear foul on the keeper. She's already punched the ball, made good connection. But this is a great header from Karshawi, but like you say, could she have held on to that, and Dozie? But again, anything good from PSG has come from Karshawi. She's involved in the thick of it down this left-hand side.
Almeida will reach that, finds Grunen. Fiercely contested, as the Parisian derby was likely to be today. Siddle still looking for her first victory in charge.